Parker from Pina Grip Co, and today I'm going to show you how to tie a bowline 3 different ways. Here we go. So the bowline is a kind of loop that won't ever slip. To tie the bowline is to be an efficient knot tyer and to know at least one good knot. So here's how you tie a bowline, and bear with me here because I am upside down, but it goes a little bit something like this. And boom, there's your bowline. Now let's break it down. This is the bitter end and this is the standing end. The tip crosses over, you wrap this around bitter end once, you come out of the hole, around the tree, and back through the hole. Then you pull it all tight, and that's a bowline. The next kind of bowline is what I like to call, or have heard called, a snap bowline. All I would have to do is tie this quick release kind of knot, and if you see how I do it again, I just pinch, pull, turn, and then I turn the standing end over on itself, pass the bitter end through the standing end, and then pull it so that it flips over right. That's another bowline. Now the last one is super handy when you're tying down frames and using a trucker's hitch, and that's actually a bowline on a bike. When you tie it with the loop being the end of the rope. So same thing, come over, twist, around, up, through, down, a bowline on a bike. So that's 3 ways to tie a bowline. This is how you tie a clove hitch 3 different ways. The first way I'll show you is the most simple and standard. If you're tying the end of a line onto a frame or something, you'll make one pass, make an X, another pass, and then up and through, and that is a clove hitch. Clove hitch is not technically a knot, it's a hitch. So you should never use this when raising or lowering overhead loads. You should use a real knot. To safety the clove hitch, just in case, you can do another little half hitch, and that is pretty sturdy. The other 2 ways are modifications on the clove hitch. So if you'll notice, if I slide this off like this, it makes kind of a pretzel-y shape. Now if you stay tuned, I'll show you how to do that one at the end. This next one is called the double clove. So same thing, but instead of taking 1 wrap, you take 1, 2 wraps. But you still have to come through the whole X. This is especially helpful if you've got something stubborn that really doesn't need to slide or go anywhere. The more wraps you do, the more that's not gonna slide off of the pipe. Safety it again, simply by doing another half hitch. Now that baby's not going anywhere. The last way I'm going to show you how to tie a clove hitch is a clove hitch where you split the lines. So let's say you're tying a rope onto a frame and you need the 2 lines to splay out and go different ways. You would tie the clove hitch like this. It's the same thing, but you're just taking a bite on the rope, taking 1 wrap, making your X, coming up through the X again, cinching it down, and then making your safety loop, safety hitch, right like that. That's the 3rd way. Now, I told you there would be a bonus. If you have the opportunity, say you're tying off to something that's sticking out, like a railing, or something that would have an open end, you can take the rope and you can go ahead and make the clove hitch before you slip it on. So you make 1 loop going one way, 1 loop in the opposite direction. You can slip it on there. Show it to you one more time because sometimes it confuses me too. But you go ahead, you make a loop in one direction, then you make a loop in the other direction so that it's got the X. Then you can slip it on, tighten it down, finish. There you go. I'm going to show you how to tie a trucker's hitch 3 different ways. Now, you might not call them all trucker's hitches, but it's the same knot. Generally, it'll do the same thing. Here's a little bonus for you, the flying bowline. You're gonna step with a little bit of tail, hold that one tight, go over, around, up. The loop goes through the loop. You make a nice big loop like that. They also call that a tugboat knot. So we're gonna pretend like we need to secure this vise to this pickup truck. Imagine this is our 20 by frame or whatever. So there's 3 ways you can tie this. The first one I'm going to show you is the slip knot method, which is maybe the most popular, but not my most favorite. So you're thinking, what's a trucker's hitch do? It's gonna create a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage that you can use the rope, pull more force and tension on the line to keep it taut tight from going anywhere. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna run through our loop. We're gonna take a little bit of slack out of the line, and we're going to twist the working part of the line, grab the standing part of the line, I think, if that's the right terminology, but the down part of it, the part that's towards the work, we're gonna pass our loop through the loop that we've just made, and then we're going to tension the line, hold what we got, pass that through there, right, and now you've got a trucker's hitch. That's nice and tight. When you're done with it, you can either, tie these up however you want so they're not in the way and dangling on the ground, but when you're done with it, you just pull it loose, the whole thing comes apart, and when it's time to move the frame again, you just pull that, and the slip knot comes right out. So the way I really like to tie it, and this depends on the grip crew that you work with, is I like to tie a bowline on a bite. So what we do, we take the working end, make a loop, we go over, up, around, over, down, and you've got a bowline on the bite. Then we'll take the same principle, going through the loop through the loop, pulling back on itself. And the beauty of this is it can't slip, because this is a bowline. This loop will never get any bigger, and it'll never get any smaller. But if we pull on it nice and tight, we can keep a lot of tension there, and then we can finish the knot off. And this is how the key grip I work with likes to do it. So that's how I like to do it. Now, the third way is kind of a mixture between all of the knots that you've learned. It's especially useful if you're running out of rope. I'll tie a clove hitch onto the hook here. I'll put my little safety hitch in there. And we can do it the same way. We can do the twisty through knot, or we can do the bowline. This is not enough to make that full knot, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach inside the loop. We're gonna pull the rope out and through itself, and then we're gonna tug on it. And you can see the problem with this slip knot now is as I pull it, it wants to get bigger, but I only have so much rope. Tension, and that's tied off. You do it like I prefer, which is the bowline on the bite. Then when you the neck guy really ain't going anywhere. So that's how you tie 3 different kinds of trucker's hitches. I hope you learned something. Over and out. Sayonara. Don't die in an avalanche. Goodbye.